Hey everybody, it's Super Sam Bros Gaming, and welcome to another Battlefield 1 video, but we are going to be talking about Battlefield 5. That is in fact the topic for this video and the whole reason I'm making it. So we've seen gameplay finally at EA Play and E3. We've seen the trailers, which I personally did not like. And I feel as if I should express my concerns, my concerns, my hopes, and all around things that I feel need to be said. So, let's start off with the trailer itself. I did not like the trailer, among many others. Many people did not like the trailer, as evidenced by the like to dislike ratio. I mean, not as bad as something like the Infinite Warfare trailer, but bad enough to where it should raise an eyebrow. Now, I am doing this commentary live, because I don't really like post-commentary. I feel like it would be a little too difficult to do. So, gameplay-wise, the new movement elements, such as the going onto your back, going onto your left side, going onto your right side, those all look promising. Those all look like great additions that I feel could add very interesting fights, very interesting gunfights. Because while you're trying to attack an enemy from the front, he might dodge to his right or his left, and then you have to adapt from there. And then you could do the same thing. Oh, I almost had him. You could do the same thing. You could dodge to your left, you could dodge to your right. Ow. You could go onto your back. All of those things. I do not know if the slide is returning. It could be. I hope it is, because I do enjoy the slide. It is a very good element. Another thing, which I am showing right here, the window dive. In Battlefield 1 and all the other Battlefields, you would have to break the window and then simply vault through it. While in Battlefield 5, you can simply run up to the window and you will dive out of it. Now, I think that's kind of cool. I find that very cool, the fact that you can just simply dolphin dive out of a window and hopefully survive. That was a horrible shot. Oh. Ow! Bayonet charge. Good time to bring this up. The bayonet charge, as far as I know, is not returning. I didn't see a bayonet symbol anywhere. I haven't heard any devs talk about it. So bayonet charge is not returning. So, one thing about the trailer that me and most others did not like is the fact that it seemed way too, it's kind of a dumb term, but too Michael Bay-ish. Now, by that I mean explosions everywhere, just extremely hectic. It didn't seem right. For a Battlefield trailer, it seemed maybe a little too Call of Duty-ish, and then for a World War II game, it seemed a little, I don't know, maybe a little too unrealistic. Now, the devs tried to defend this by saying Battlefield games are hectic, and yes, that is true, but for a trailer, I mean, the Battlefield 1 trailer was near perfect. I mean, in my eyes and many other people's eyes. So, the fact that they had a perfect trailer, and then for the next game, completely threw out every good part about the Battlefield 1 trailer, and just said, screw it. What are you trying to do? Oh no. That was close. So, my hopes for the game. I hope that I already know that there is weapon customization, and I am excited for that, because the variant system is not necessarily my favorite system, although I feel like they did a good job with the variant system, because there's pretty much a variant for most weapons for the majority of people's playstyles. Like, most scout rifles have an infantry variant, they have a marksman variant, and then they have a sniper variant, depending on your forte. Oh, I can try to get to you. Oh, come on, man. About the healing, I don't know how I feel about the regen system. I feel as if it going to like 60 health and then stopping the regen, I feel like that's too little. If it could go to 75 or 80, I feel like that would be a lot better, because if the health regen doesn't, if you get hit to 30 or 40, kill the guy, and then your health goes up to 60, you're gonna die in one hit to pretty much anything. Pistols included. Aww. Pistols included. So, like right there, he killed me in 2 hits, but if I had the regen up to only 60, he would have killed me in 1. And since I'm a medic, that problem doesn't really persist. Speaking of the medics, I feel like the new animation style, to where you actually have to pick up the medical pouch or you have to pick up the ammunition pouch, I feel like that's a good idea. It stops players from just kind of sitting in one spot, camping, and having infinite health and ammunition from a support and a medic. But also the revive takes a little bit more time, and that, I feel like it could be a little annoying at times, like if you're rushing into battle, so I feel like it'll impede revives, which I don't know how I feel about impeding revives. Oh no. Because, I mean, it's already hard enough to get a medic to res you, so I don't know. Maybe if they enforce resing a little bit better, then the medics won't be the most hated class like they were in this game. But we'll just see how it goes, because EA Play was, you know, a short event, and we're just gonna have to wait for the alpha or the open beta to see how all of these systems really flush out. Of course, during EA Play, some of the animations and sounds weren't there. They reused the same melee animations from Battlefield 1, but this is completely expected and forgiven because of the fact that it's in early alpha and the game is still being developed. That's fine. That's not what I'm here to talk about. Customization. That DICE is pushing very, very heavily on customization in Battlefield 5. They're going for soldier individuality instead of simply just having a kind of universal sprite for each class, because as you know, for every team has a set of 4 sprites or 3D models that every class user has. Like, there's really no difference, which is okay because they're generic enough to where it doesn't really show like, oh, we're just clones running together. But I'm okay with the whole soldier individuality. I am 100% on that, except I need limits. I saw that soldiers were running around with like, face paint and just crazy. Oh jeez. I just don't want like a Garden Warfare style customization system. If you know what I mean by Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, that game is great, by the way, but customization is insane, and it's meant to be insane because it fits the tone. But for a Battlefield game and a World War II game at that, you have to treat the setting with some kind of respect. Going along with the treating the setting with respect, we come to the whole issue of females. Now, DICE has stated that they are not changing this whatsoever. No matter what you say, will not change their opinion on females being in this next Battlefield. They will be in there on release day, no matter how much we gripe about it, or no matter how much we hate it. Now, I'm not one of those people that... Oh! Hello. I am not one of those people that says women should not be in an FPS, women should not be in any game. That is not true at all. I've played plenty of games as a female. I even played Far Cry 5, which gave you a choice of being a female. I chose to be a female because it was something different. Because in most games you play as a male, which is understandable. And that's not true for every game. I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn right now, which is a female lead. I played Mirror's Edge, female lead. The Last of Us, I had no problem playing as Ellie. I have no problem with The Last of Us 2 focusing on Ellie. No problem, no gripes with that whatsoever. Alright, I guess we're pushing to A. But in a World War II setting, I mean, I'm a little bit of a history buff, and yes, there are women who fought in World War II. Women fought for the French, women fought for the Russians, but they did not fight for the British, which we see in the Battlefield 5 trailer. We see a female British soldier on the front lines, and that did not happen. I mean, I know Battlefield is not complete historical accuracy, because, I mean, we're using weapons from 1918 in a battle that took place in 1916, sort of thing, but that's not that big of a deal. While, you know, because there are still not many, but there are still plenty of World War II veterans still alive, and I feel as if it might be a little disrespectful to show such a serious battle, because Battlefield can get pretty crazy, and you know, there's a lot of explosions going on and a lot of intense moments. But I don't know, it just doesn't give the correct respect to... Come on, it doesn't give the correct respect to the veterans who fought and had their brothers in arms die next to them. They weren't saved by a cheery British female with a barbed wire wrapped cricket bat. That just didn't happen. So it seems like they are throwing almost all realism out the window with Battlefield 5. Or not necessarily realism, but historical accuracy. Now, Battlefield 1 threw out some historical accuracy, like I mentioned before, but for the most part, it's still all here. 90% of historical accuracy in World War I is here. It's pretty much all here, except for some of the things I mentioned that in vehicles. But because DICE have said that they are not going to change this, and it is going to be like this no matter how much we gripe, I've come to the kind of conflict resolution with myself. I've come to the compromise that as long as War Stories, which they have announced is returning, as long as War Stories maintains historical accuracy and a level of respect that World War II not only deserves but requires, then I'm completely okay with women being in Battlefield 5. As long as War Stories is historically accurate. In Battlefield 1's War Stories, we see quite a lot of historical accuracy, quite a lot of respect to the horrors of war, and Of course, it is sort of like an action movie with these characters taking on multiple enemies by themselves, but I mean that's just a given in any FPS. You're going to have the Rambo, but they at least treated it with a level of respect that says war is horrible, and even though we're making a fun game about it, we're still treating it with respect. Now, we haven't really seen much about war stories. We have seen one about a female, which, as long as they treat it correctly, I won't get mad. I am planning on buying Battlefield 5. I'm not saying that I am disowning the game because of its choices. I'm simply worried, because the people that do take these things very seriously have already dropped their support. And EA's response to this, saying either accept it or don't buy the game, was a horrible response. It was... What are you doing, EA? Don't make another Battlefront mistake. Come on, why don't these people realize that the customer is always right? And when the majority of the fan base is not misogynistic like they are pinning us out to be, but simply worried that there's a level of disrespect going into it, then I feel like their response, and I'm not alone on this, many people feel that EA's response was poor at best. They not only didn't fix the problem, if anything, they made it worse. So that's enough about the whole female issues, and now let's get into my wish list. So my wish list for Battlefield 5 includes, of course, weapon diversity, because, I mean, that should be a definite, since World War II was such a huge global event. It was a global event. I really hope that there are weapons from around the globe, such as there were in Battlefield 1. Moving on from weapons, I hope that there are customization options, and maybe some customization options for the weapons specifically that may not seem conventional. Like, I mean, maybe stuff like extended mags and that kind of option. Because, I mean, I've played some, like, realistic World War II games that had extended mags. Like, I played Medal of Honor Airborne, and you could upgrade the magazines for that. Ooh. Ow. Ouchies. I hope that we have the option to take the scopes off of sniper rifles. I have not seen someone play with an infantry variant, I'll just call it, but I'm really hoping that I can take the scopes off, because I only really play with infantry sniper rifles, because I don't trust myself with a scope. I don't feel like I have enough skill to use a scope. Oh, come on. So I really want to be able to use my Kar 98K with a iron sights on it. I hope that the camouflage, like the color customizations on the weapons, I hope that it's not just a one skin. I hope that you can customize the specific parts, like the barrel, the stock, the maybe even the bolt. But I mean, I like the weapon skins in Battlefield 1. I feel like they did a good job with the legendary skins. The common skins, I guess I'll just call them, those are pretty bad. Like, there's really no special common skins, which I guess is fair, but it's like, what's the point of even putting on a skin if it doesn't look like anything? So I really hope that you can just customize specific parts of the gun. Like, you could have a white wood stock, like on some of the rifles in this game, but you could also have like a gold barrel or a silver barrel, platinum, I guess you could call it. And then maybe you could choose to add engravings into it, like some of the weapons have with their legendary skins. That sort of level of customization. And as this game is reaching to its close, I want to talk about the maps a little bit. So Battlefield 1 has plenty of diverse locations. We're on the Western Front, the Eastern Front. We're even on the Gallipoli offensive, which I don't really know what front you would call that, if you would call it a front. I'm going to die if I'm not careful. Oh my. But I really hope that they go the Eastern Front, they go to the Western Front, they go to the War in the Pacific. Come on. Grenade spam. I hope that they go to the War in the Pacific, possibly the Philippines, because there were plenty of battles in the Pacific. There were even battles in the Atlantic. Like you had the battle for the Atlantic, where the Allies took back the Atlantic from the German U-boat threat. So, I mean, there's so many avenues that this war was fought on. So I know that they've gotten rid of the premium pass and they're going for free DLC, which is wonderful news. Like, it's spectacular news. That's something that all Battlefield players have wanted for a very long time, is to ditch the premium pass. And they're finally doing it. But there's so many different avenues to explore with a world war, especially World War II, which was just the largest conflict in human history. And they should really take advantage of that. Now, knowing DICE, they probably will take advantage of that and show us all the avenues. My guess is that each added DLC will bring a new Tides of War, as they call it. It will bring a new front. Like, maybe the base game will focus on the Western Front, and then the next one, just as Battlefield 1 did, they'll focus on the Eastern Front, then maybe they'll focus on the Atlantic battles, and they might focus on the Pacific battles. There's so many different ways that they could do it. Let's just take B here. Come on, guys. Oh, you need ammo? So, in conclusion, there are many controversies going on with Battlefield 5 right now. Am I still excited for the game? Yes. Do I have problems with how I see it? Yes. Am I still going to buy it? 99% sure I am. And I have hope, and I have faith that DICE will not pull another Battlefront 2 and completely screw over the fans. So, thank you for watching, and if you have similar ideas or even more ideas, then please tell me in the comments below. Years and years